This week we were watching the 7th episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 2, titled Rules of Acquisition. Quark is chosen by Grand Nagus Zek to help expand Ferengi business into the Gamma Quadrant. Quark hires a new waiter named Pell, who appears to be very business savvy, and recruits him to aid in the negotiations. But it turns out that Pell is actually a female Ferengi disguised as a male, which is a violation of Ferengi law, which forbids women from earning profit or even wearing clothes. Unfortunately, Jay Hitman could not join us for this episode, but we very fortunately booked a guest ahead of time, which is kind of fitting for the uniqueness of this episode being the first female Ferengi we see on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We have our first female guest. XrayGirl agreed to join us and watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine for the first time. We gave her a little bit of education about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the lore, the mythology, the characters, and I think overall it was a positive experience for everyone. And hopefully you enjoy our episode of Wormhole Watch with this week. But before, as always, please like, subscribe, and share this channel. And as always, keep watching good Star Trek.
My God, they're going into the wormhole at full impulse.
Clearly, you can see we have a very special guest tonight. Hello, Ambassador. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm XrayGirl, or Shue, or Shu, if you want to call me that. I have not watched a single episode of DS9, so this is going to be very interesting. And I'm ready for all the slurs, spoonheads.
Is this a female? Are human, female, latex?
You were waiting for that.
He was waiting.
Yes, I am waiting for that because it's so good that you're here tonight, because getting introduced to Deep Space Nine can be, difficult. It's a very story-driven story, but it's very much set in the same timeline as Star Trek: The Next Generation. So a lot of the same ideas, a lot of the same aliens and everything. But what we just saw was a Ferengi. And Ferengi were supposed to be the bad guys in The Next Generation, but they were ridiculous. So they stopped being the bad guys and just became rabid capitalists. And they definitely have certain opinions about...
You work with your females, arm them, and force them to wear clothing. Sickening.
Yeah. On the home world of Ferenginar. Well, actually, since
the story's going to be told.
Okay, fine. All right. Fine. Well, we have
You got to give a little.
Yes, so I'll go on camera tonight.
Okay.
Right, or I won't.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'll be nice. It's a new guest protocol. I'll go on camera for guests.
Wow, so true.
So yeah, the Ferengi are rabid capitalists, and let's say the patriarchy is strong with this race. Women.
No, I'm also. I was saying I'm not going to do the laugh while I'm on camera. I'm turning off my camera from doing the laugh.
Oh, you're gonna do?
I'll do the laugh, but I won't do it with the camera on.
Okay. No, I'm not going to make you do it but I'm going to tell XrayGirl that the Ferengi have like a president, and he's called the Grand Nagus. And the Grand Nagus is like...
Yeah, that's my reaction too.
I know.
That's my reaction as well.
His name is Zek, Grand Nagus Zek, and Zek has a very specific laugh. So, Adam...
Oh, I could do that. That's like the girl version.
Yeah. Well, we would not hear that because among Ferengi, women are not even second-class citizens. They're
literally naked in the kitchen. Literally.
Yeah.
On Ferenginar, women are not allowed to wear clothes.
Yeah. But this is a very
I want to be
Ferengi.
a Ferengi. That's all I had to do.
Which, the male or the female?
The female, obviously.
Jesus.
Well,
this is all right. This we may not even need Hitman here tonight. This could be very interesting. So this episode is called Rules of Acquisition. Is a Ferengi-centric episode. All right, so I'm gonna bring up the screen. Let's see if everyone works this time. Okay.
Oh, it's Trek.
That's Morn.
Yeah, it's a takeoff of Norm.
He's at the bar till morn.
You are so lucky you're a girl.
That was
I would say things if you were not a guest. in
Don't bite your tongue too hard.
private Dabo game.
It's not Dabo. This is Tongo.
Tongo.
You're
Okay.
right.
Tongo.
Okay, I'd forgotten about Tongo.
Are they
I know,
using
I know.
coasters as cards?
They look like coasters, correct.
That-
Okay. Not a Ferengi.
no.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes.
She's not naked. That's why.
No, well, yeah, the spots go all the way down.
Oh, let's not start our Dax
Don't
fetish
tease
stuff
us like
so
that.
early.
Listen,
So
she said I don't have to behave myself. Okay.
this is Lieutenant Dax. She is a Starfleet officer. She is a race known as Trill, and her race is interesting in that they have a symbiote inside them, which carries the memories of other lives. So it's like in the belly. It literally looks like a kangaroo pouch is how it gets in. So
Wow,
she remembers all of her past lives. So she's had like 6 or 7 past lives, both as men and women.
Oh,
And one of her past lives is close friends with the commander of the station. So she comes on board as a new character, but already has like a past history with the commander.
does he know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He asked
They're,
for
they're
it.
good they're good friends. They're good friends. But among one of her past lives is a character named Curzon, who was the commander's very good friend. Curzon was a wild dude. So Curzon gambled and Curzon drank. So this is why she's gambling with Ferengi right now. And she's hot.
Yes.
And there's that.
Is that really you prefer your women naked and submissive?
You find such a lifestyle appealing?
Don't you wish?
We all do.
So this is, like I say, part of the fun part of the Ferengi. So like Star Trek is generally a serious show, but when Ferengi show up, it's just like little comic stuff, like the Trouble Triples episode. So very lighthearted jokes going on.
I'm liking them. They're cool.
Do.
Place your complimentary dishes of local beans with vermilion sand peas. You won't be able to fill your customers' glasses fast enough.
Cheeky little buggers.
Mhm.
my idea.
Brings
Kiss
to
ass.
mind the 33rd rule of acquisition.
It never hurts to suck up to the boss.
That's a lot of rules at once right now.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Ellen
lot of
Miller.
rules.
Gotten a list
that-
of
We've
them
never
already.
gotten that many at once.
No,
show
they've
yet.
been very sporadic, but there are Wikipedia pages that have this, and someone actually was it Ira Stephen Bear, I think.
Wrote
Alan
all of
wrote-
the rules.
Yeah, well, it's like 50% of them are actual real rules from the show, canon rules. The other people have made up along the way. So really, the ones that count are the ones that anything they say is canon. So those are the ones that really count. Just say that Quark is the main guy who is hitting on Dax. His brother Rom is one in the center who wants to run the bar one day. And Pell is this new person who we're first meeting for the first time here. Pell, this dude wants to make some profit.
Suck up to the boss.
I mean, it's kind of smart. You don't need drugs for that. Just put bar nuts.
Yeah, that's what he's
Essentially,
literally.
yeah.
He's making very salty bar nuts.
Mhm.
I'm offering you an opportunity to make more profit than you ever dreamed of.
It's orgasmic.
Quite so.
Hey,
Oh,
profit is
so
profit.
the other thing we forgot to mention, Deep Space Nine is at the mouth of a wormhole to a far off part of the galaxy that has never been explored before. So it's an opportunity for exploration and profit, according to the Ferengi, because it's a place they've never been. So hopefully they can earn some money. And of course, the Ferengi are not known there, so their reputation will be clean. Because otherwise, most people think they're scummy little bastards.
Which they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I can tell, they're fine.
So that's kind of where we are with this one. It's basically a story about Quark making money, and yeah, and I thought it was a good way to introduce you to the show. It's lighthearted. The first episode is very, very heavy. Very good episode. Very not what you would expect from Star Trek, actually.
No, it doesn't feel very Star Trek.
No, that's one of the interesting things about this show. It's in the same universe as Next Generation, but it takes on a whole different character because the station is sitting there. So they're not going out and exploring. Things are coming to them right now.
And that's one of the biggest changes, like Brad just said. It's everybody's coming there. It's a stationary story, coming and going here and there, and it's a totally different concept than exploring new worlds and meeting new life forms, stuff like that. And everybody was worried that it wasn't going to work. And here we are. We're in the beginning of season 2, and it wasn't quite working yet. And it's going to, in about, what are we at? This is 7. In about 10 episodes, it's suddenly going to start to work. 2 seasons.
I think
in,
around
and that was
September,
the thing.
October, if we keep watching. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, because we've told these stories where we're watching this thing live every week back in the day, and I was half paying attention at this point. It's like, I don't really care. And then suddenly the penultimate and season finales happen, and then, I'm locked in and I'm ready for season 3 now.
Yeah.
So it was a long game, and it paid off in the end, and they ended up having 2 seasons followed by 5 stellar seasons. I mean, Brad and I are going to
I would say great seasons with stellar, some of the best science fiction ever.
I mean, Brad and I have said multiple times, there's going to come a point where we're going to be dropping 9s and 10s. We haven't done
as ratings.
As ratings repeatedly.
And I already know the episodes.
Oh, yeah, so do I. Without titles, but I know exactly which ones. Yeah.
The other cool thing about this show is that you really get to understand the characters because you get to invest time learning about them rather than like, what's the monster of the week? What's the planet of the week? So it's like, this is the beginning of serialized storytelling, which is really unusual in the 90s at the time. So.
Very excited.
But this is one that you can just sit and watch. Oh, I didn't.
Lost audio.
I don't think so.
Anything else you need?
Oh, no.
I can guarantee Kira doesn't know Umox.
Oh, God. I hope she doesn't. Do you want to tell XrayGirl what Umox are?
All right. The Ferengi ear is essentially part of their aphrodisiac organs, let's just say.
It's an erogenous zone.
Yeah, right.
Do you like play with it, or
the Umox is a finger talent at massaging the lobes.
I love how you're describing her.
It's just that he's really dancing around it.
Try to be not graphic. So yeah,
her face right now. Holy shit!
I'm just telling the lore. I'm not making this up. This is the lore.
This is true lore.
It is.
This ain't made up.
Yeah.
Hey, to each their own. Whatever you like, you like.
Also, just to point out, this again, 1993, 1994. The commanding officer is a black man. The second in charge is a woman. I thought we were all racist.
There's not enough black gay men in here.
Exactly. I mean, this is a terrible show. I mean,
so that's what's been missing.
That's what's been missing. More gay transsexuals. That's what we need on Deep Space Nine.
We had a cripple last week. Isn't that enough?
Oh,
yeah.
God,
we already
that
heard
episode.
Well, technically, wouldn't Dax be kind of like transgender, kind of?
That's actually an interesting point. That's been adopted since then. People have adopted that stance.
Fake Trek fans, Kurtzman fans, have been trying to push Trills as trans representation for the past 6-7 years.
The best
Not
way
exactly
to think
the same when you adopt the physiological body, though. I get it.
No, because there's it's not the same person. It's a different person.
Yeah. All they have access to are the memories of the symbiote, not actual. The symbiote, as with maybe other science fiction things, doesn't actually take over the body. It simply shares knowledge and memories, which is how
it's like a hard drive.
Okay.
Yeah. So that person now has access to it, and the predominant personality is that person, not like the prior personalities. So that's the difference.
Oh God, is that the fingering of the ear thing?
No,
no,
thank God.
That's just grooming.
He's grooming his ear hair.
I didn't see that before.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't get the close up.
Yeah, it's there.
I kind of want to wax it.
Okay.
I probably could use some help during these negotiations.
Accept.
Here we go.
Huh? This is a girl.
Yes.
I knew it.
Yeah.
The voice was so female.
The voice
Yes.
was the giveaway.
Yeah.
And this is now the first time in Star Trek history we see a Ferengi female.
She's naked under those clothes. I knew it. Also,
Yeah, so-
the whole I guess it's only guys that get the Ferengi fingering. Girls' ears
Well-
are smaller, so
We don't know.
We actually don't know
We
that.
don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
What,
because
you
we
two nerds
literally-
don't know this answer. God damn.
Well, we can only know what they give us.
Yeah. I literally think this is one of 2 Ferengi females we might see in the entire series.
Mhm.
ever. They're so rare.
Moogie.
Yeah. Well, it means nothing to no one except us. So yeah, that's the big thing about this episode. Which is why I kind of described it to Adam as like, do you remember Yentl? Which was an old Barbra Streisand movie about a Jewish woman who wanted to learn, I think is it Talmudic law, or is that it, Adam? I don't remember.
I try to wipe, as good as my memory is, I try to wipe all Bab's knowledge out of there.
Yeah. But she wanted to learn a lot about Jewish religion. It wasn't allowed back in like the early 20th century. So this is the analogy. It's like she wants to learn about the rules of acquisition. She should not know this. She wants to earn profit. Women, female Ferengi should not be earning money. So she's disguising herself as a dude to go in and make money, which is literally against Ferengi law.
And she managed to get such good prosthetics for those ears that nobody can tell the difference.
No. It's just
It is
the
a
voice.
20%.
She could have tried harder, I think.
Yeah. I think it was really tough to try to disguise the voice. I was wondering if anyone would actually catch on to that. It's like, it just sounds a little feminine. But
Yeah, I was waiting for there to be a reveal or not. That was what I was waiting for.
The reveal has to come early because hijinks will now ensue.
yes, hijinks will ensue.
Now knowing it'll add to it. Oh, I recognize that guy.
Yeah, who is that dude?
So,
He
I don't
played
remember his name, but
he's been he's a lot of sci-fi stuff. He was the villain
Yeah.
in Stallone's Cobra. He played Shao Kahn.
Yeah,
in
that's what I was
Mortal Kombat
thinking of.
Annihilation.
That's
He's
what I
a
was thinking of.
standard villain actor from the 80s. And
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Here's the funny thing
Oh,
about
geez.
Quark that
Hmm?
this episode really shines a light on. With all the stuff we've seen before with Quark, with all the deals he does, Quark is an excellent criminal. An
Mhm.
excellent criminal. He's not a good public businessman because he folds under pressure like this every time. But if it's a shady deal where he has to work in the shadows, has to make something sketchy happen, knows criminal contacts, he's very good at that.
Mhm.
But in these
Yeah.
situations, he doesn't quite have the lobes, to use the terminology.
Yep.
Does he really doesn't have the lobes? He doesn't.
He is actually a better criminal than Ironheart.
Why do you have to bring that into this?
Hey, I had to watch it.
We were doing so well.
I didn't have to watch it. I watched it because I'm a
Stuff of
masochist.
nightmares.
I made
Oh,
Dermy watch it. I didn't have to watch it.
best villain show ever by Marvel. Thank you guys.
Love Quark. Don't bother trying to deny it.
He doesn't even know I'm a female.
You're a woman.
Interesting.
The other interesting thing to me was it's like, you're a woman. Like, Dax was completely fine with Pell being in love with Quark, like male Ferengi to male Ferengi, but the woman part shocked her.
Yeah, that kind of took me for because I thought she
I
was
think it's
Kayla
because
already
involved.
catching on that.
she admits that she's never met a Ferengi female, and
Yeah.
and we talk about it freely because we know we've seen this enough times. But now this is a legitimate lore dump in this moment in Star Trek. A quick look at Ferengi social status,
Society. Yeah.
society. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now suddenly you have to put this into the equation. Now, fortunately, DS9 is going to continue down this path and give us more Ferengi social aspects in
Mhm.
further seasons. They're not going to this isn't a one-off in terms
Nope.
of giving us world building, which is why DS9, I'm going to say this. I don't know if we've said this before. DS9 does better world building for the Star Trek universe than TNG does.
I think we probably said it in some way,
Yeah.
but you're absolutely
yeah.
right. One, the character development standpoint.
And more on
Yeah.
more on home worlds and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and more on species. We get more.
Yeah.
Because I almost said something.
Careful.
Almost said something.
Want me to take my headphones off?
No, it's for you.
No,
But you
no,
and
don't worry,
Fracture.
we're
No,
not.
No.
Yeah.
No, you see, I catch myself in time. Almost said a massive thing that would spoil so much stuff. So no.
All right, keep going.
The Titanic sinks. Yes, we know.
No more.
Okay.
What?
No more.
I'm kidding.
Bruce Willis was dead all along. Sorry.
If you say Santa Claus isn't real, I'm out of here.
No, that's ridiculous.
I will
Of
not-
course it's real.
No, that's just the
Okay.
Easter Bunny.
Okay, good.
The Easter Bunny's fake.
I thought
No.
so.
He's missing Quark.
He is. He hasn't gotten a shout. He hasn't gotten a shout at Quark this whole episode. He's missed it.
It's for ear play, I swear. I just practiced. My ear nose.
Oh no!
Oh, wait a minute.
no.
Wait. What did you just say? Their ear what?
They're my ear nose.
Thought that's what you said.
Oh no! Oh no!
Why did she have extra ears though? Why'd you leave extra ears?
These are my day ears and my night ears.
There's day ears and night ears.
Oh god!
God.
Oh.
Oh
no.
boy!
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I have to tell you. No.
Awkward.
Trust me, it's not gay.
It's not gay if we don't look at each other.
Ah.
June was
As long
last month, guys. Come on.
As long as
In
leave
this
the boots
case-
on. As long as leave your lobes on, it's no.
Leave your lobes on.
Oh.
Not gay if we're touching the ears only.
Let's just say, if you want to do business in the Gamma Quadrant, you have to do business with the Dominion.
Don't worry about it.
I believe that was something Grok dropped a little.
Stop quiet.
What that? You
You promised you'd
You
forget
be
that.
quiet.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh,
Promise you.
I'll brain drain later.
You-
Okay.
All right. Pause it. That is fantastic directing and scene display right there.
Yeah.
We don't know what a single line of dialogue was, but what we got there was just an outstanding understanding of everything. Didn't even hear anything. We know exactly what's going on. The reveal, the truth, the lies, and Quark's reaction. Brilliant.
As opposed to, like we've said, like if you're watching Star Trek today, first off, there'd be a lot of crying.
Yes.
Because that's what everyone does. There'd be a lot of talking about emotions and everything, and be 10 minutes of people talking about their emotions, as opposed to just 10 seconds of watching people interact. And like you said, Adam, you know exactly what just happened.
And
Yeah.
And Quark's reaction is comedic timing.
And
I
if
mean,
this was Kurtzman Trek, Quark would be, I was kind of into you as a guy.
yeah.
That would be
Oh, I'm disappointed. I'm gay too. Yeah.
You like Milos?
Uh-oh.
There it goes.
Oh no!
I do.
Good. Then you can have them.
Oh!
Shame on you.
Wow.
What the hell?
Oh God.
Oh.
Why is that so gross?
Wait.
You take
Uh.
those 10 bars of Latinum after all.
Oh my God.
Umox.
Oh, Shazam!
Just some ear play. Oh my God. I didn't know it would be that effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, why do I pause like this all the time?
Yeah. He's got a talent for the pausing.
Play it a
Jesus.
little more then. Why did you stop there?
Guys, I have a problem.
He does.
He
Yeah,
does.
He's still there.
All right. Well, that was our whole episode. Rules of engagement. Like I said, a more lighthearted episode of Deep Space Nine with one significant lore drop, which hints at some bigger power, which will come into play possibly later. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit. Yeah, spoilers. We're avoiding those. But yeah, so XrayGirl, obviously, we talked a little bit about Deep Space Nine, may have read a little bit about it. So, just again, this is a light episode, really not heavy on lore. overall, what did you think about like the presentation of this as what you normally expect of Star Trek?
Just it was very good. I quite enjoyed the writing. I thought that I call it special effects, but it's just the costumes as well as the prosthetics actually was quite impressive, because even if they had all that on their head, the nose, the eyebrows, the ears, even a bit of the chin, that they were still able to emote as well as they could. Because you look at like something like Ahsoka, and she can't do much with her little ear things.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, also Rosario Dawson, who also is a good actress, was not able to emote. So I don't know what happened there. And I like the mixture of both like the writing as well as the what do we call it? The communication nonverbal of a lot of the actors. It was really good, and it makes you want to know more about some of the different characters that we kind of lightly met, and know more about this space station.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It kind of draws you in. Adam, what were you going to say there?
We had only one scene with Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the very
one scene. And he's our commanding officer.
He's still kind of taking that back seat right now.
Yeah.
Still kind of taking that back seat.
Yeah. Real quick, XrayGirl, you mentioned, the prosthetics and everything, and you mentioned like Rosario Dawson, where Ahsoka's tendrils, I don't know what they are called.
Leku.
Leku. They're Leku,
Yeah.
correct.
Thank you.
Don't look as good. These are prosthetics from 30 plus years ago.
They worked hard on them, from what I could tell. They looked real. They looked like the ears looked actually kind of malleable a little too.
The other thing is like the makeup artists that are on this show had been working on Star Trek shows since Next Generation premiered in 1987. So there's literally continuity of all the artists, all the cameramen, all the writers from 1987 going forward. So they understand what needs to be done and how to make things work as easily as possible with what they had. Yeah, they understood the assignment because they passed the assignment the first time and then they kept doing it. As opposed to today. Yeah. Yeah, just over and over again. Like for instance, like Michael Dorn's makeup, Worf, used to take like 4 hours when it started, but later on they got it down to 2 hours. That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing to think that. Yeah. So good experience first time watching?
Oh, absolutely. I had fun. I mean, you could tell I was laughing, some of the cheeky moments. Want to know more about the story. I started ignoring you guys when you guys were talking because I'm like, I'd rather know what's happening. Stop. So as it goes to show, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, let's next go to our normal person who normally if Hitman was here, we'd say, Hitman, would you like to say anything? And he goes, actually, I think I'll let Fractured go first.
I'll defer to Fractured on this.
I'll defer to Fractured. So, Fractured, what do you think?
Well, as we kind of see
to last week.
Well, as we now learn, Quark and Julian have something very much in common of Star Trek lovers.
Oh no!
Separated. Although at least Quarks could walk away.
Wow!
The bigotry.
What? It's true.
The ableism. The ableism of you.
So XrayGirl, just so you understand, last week's episode featured the Doctor who you saw working on Quark's head. He had a romantic relationship with a character who was confined to a wheelchair, and was a total bitch on wheels. Let's be honest.
Julian,
Julian, no. It was, no one liked it much, so that's what he's referring to, like, that storyline. Julian also has problems when it comes to romance, and this is Quark's first time seeing romance, to be honest with you.
But now they have something very bonding together. They can but that aside, Quark again it always seems to find himself on the short end of the stick for any of these deals when it comes with the Nagus. like I said at the start, he's got to kind of watch it with these. I know he's the mob boss, and all, and he's kind of beholden. But gosh darn it, man, you got to learn a few things from these interactions. But he did not see the
big game.
The big game, or just the sudden curveball of a female interacting with him and being part of the whole situation to really throw a wrench in the whole thing. So but otherwise, like I said, it was funny, it's always funny seeing actors that you recognize from other shows and stuff like that. Always fun. And I've harped on this quite a bit, that into XrayGirl's point, I'm always commenting on the practical effects and stuff like that they do. And yeah, it is always looking fantastic in this show. And they did that pretty smooth with the ears too. Like even just like that rip off moment, just to suddenly do that.
Because that's like prosthetics on top of prosthetics.
Right. Yeah. And you'd almost think there'd be an issue with that alone, but like you said, they've had so much time and practice doing all this stuff. They knew how to arrange it so that it is just that kind of a quick effect. So that was pretty fun to watch itself. And it is the Ferengi are always a gem to behold. And they get older and more
better. It gets even better.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it because you keep alluding to it, and I'm like, okay, this is.
Oh, you haven't even met this
account.
No,
I get that, but otherwise, yeah, that's just kind of my quick little bits.
Adam, commentary.
All right. I'm going to be very tactful with what I say. Okay, so we are episode 7 out of 26 in this season. We got 16 left to go. Let's just
19?
say
19.
26. Is it 26? Did I?
You said 26 and you said 7, so that's 19.
So it's plus,
oh no.
Plus 10. Plus
are we gonna do the thing and ask XrayGirl to do math?
Fine. I left 3 out. I'm a writer, not a mathematician. Damn it. So here's the thing. So 19 left to go. 19 left to go. Here, number 7. With hindsight, putting on the hindsight glasses, they figured it out. In this moment, it's clear they figured out what they're going to be doing in this episode. We'll come back to this in about 19 weeks, give or take a week.
Yeah,
we'll come back to this, and I'll remind everybody, this is the moment where you realize, oh, they've unlocked the secret sauce, and they're going to spread it all over the place and feed it to us, and we're going to say, thank you, sir, may I have some more? So what's going to happen now is we're still going to get some stinkers. Trust me. I don't know where these come from. They just happen. We've got some stinkers left to go in this season.
Oh, yes, we do.
Stinkers. Some
true
stinkers.
Oh,
but they know the story they're going to tell now. And there was just a key moment in this episode that showed it off. Not to mention, you get some lore dumps here and there, some actual world building, Ferengi, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the problem is, though, this episode, it's character light. I mean, or Starfleet light. We had once, as Fracture, when I said it, Fracture said, yeah, Cisco, he's our commanding officer, yet he's in it for a second. And it's disappointing because there's so much good Cisco to come. And what we have here also, we saw like the Chief once. We got a little bit of Julian. We got 2 seconds of Odo, but it was funny Odo. It was funny Odo.
He got that little bit.
Yeah. And almost said something again. Either way, it's a constant struggle. It's a struggle. And what we're going to get, though, is now a very good build-up once you get past the stinkers. And by the time we get to the penultimate and the season finale, Warp 10.5. Warp 10.5. We're off to the races, and I can't.
We're gonna make lizard babies.
That's a Warp 11.
Yeah, it's Warp 10.
It was 10. Why do
it was 10? No, Warp 10 is the barrier.
Yeah, you're right.
This is us being nerdy.
Yeah, you're right.
This is where we're just talking about Tom Paris and Janeway turning into giant lizards. Yes, we know.
Every few weeks we come back to that, don't we?
Filling in for Hitman since he's not here.
That was an actual episode of Star Trek Voyager. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Not good. All right. So I, without saying too much, it's a fun episode, a solid episode, and the bricks are being set.
So for me, looking back on it, I picked this one because when I was talking to XrayGirl, I'm like, would you like to come on and do this? I'm like, let's find a nice light episode. And this is like a nice light episode that people can have fun with, which especially after some of the episodes the season started pretty heavy. There's some significant political war-like stuff going on.
Circles, lots of circles.
It's debatable on the actual shape of those.
Let's not get into that 20-minute argument that we had for no reason about the shape of something.
But was it really them that did it?
What
did they actually do?
He's not here. Shut up. Making my point. Making my point. Stop it, you bad boy. I'm going to kick you.
He's going to suddenly appear. This is when he starts to pop in right now.
He's going to pop in. So, and then of course last week we had an episode that none of us liked. So this comes up and it's like, okay, we just had this terrible meal. So oh wait, somehow I got a nice little dessert. And that's a lot of times what Ferengi episodes are. This one is very much relying on Quark, Armin Shimmerman, the actor, running the whole show. This is his show. Really, it's all him. And he at this point knows his character and how to play him. Yeah, he likes to be the criminal, the guy who, looks like he always has a plan, but the bottom line, he isn't. Like Adam said, it's like he's not a good criminal. Well, no, he's not a good businessman. He's a good criminal. I guess screwed it up there. Okay. You said he's a good criminal, but not a good businessman. And this he needs to be a businessman, and he can't do it. And he can't see, the forest through the trees. He doesn't see the big play. So that's why he misses so much. As for the interaction between, him and Pell, that was funny. It was something no one expected at the time. And again, all the current identity politics, never thought of back then. This is 1993, 1994. No one's thinking in any of that stuff. I mean, men dressing up as women, that was the Birdcage. That was funny. Mm-hmm. That was a funny movie. Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, fun movie. But this is played off as comedy. Today, there'd be so many social and political allegories, it would take away from the fun of it. So having this show from 30 years ago where you can just sit down and laugh at the comedic aspects of it, knowing that there actually is a serious societal, precedent for what's going on is kind of fun. So that's a Ferengi female. One of two we will see. I can freely admit without spoilers that we will see another at some point. And that will be a fun character. No. I don't remember actually.
Yes.
Or do I remember?
It's a creepy scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a lot wrong.
Spoiler
with
alert.
You have to be when it's in context.
We'll have to be there to understand how.
You'd have to be there to understand.
Yeah.
So yeah. Overall, I think this was a fun episode, and glad everyone was able to join. Unfortunately, Hitman was not. But before we wrap up, as always, we have to rate this episode, which means we are not going to the Tongo table, which is that weird ass game no one understands. Let's go to the Dabo table and play some bars of Latinum on what we think about this episode.
Step up. Fortune's fates are with you today, friend.
All right, so on the Dabo table, let's start with our special guest tonight, XrayGirl. On a scale of 1 to 10, and understand again, you haven't seen anything before on the show. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you personally think about this episode? How many bars of Latinum 1 to 10?
I'm like maybe 7.5. It's not a perfect episode. It's a good episode. It's a good draw you in episode. It's fun. I think that you get to know some of these characters really well and world building. And I just want to know more.
Okay. 7.5. We'll let our guest go half. We stick ourselves to for one. But...
Okay, fine, 7.
No, you can do 7.5. We'll let you do 7.5.
Oh my God.
You're the ambassador. You don't even have a rank.
I used to be a cook, so I am
Yeah.
very proud of this.
Yes. All the animals are safe tonight. Chief Fractured Filter, how many bars of Latinum are you putting on the table?
Oh, I'm gonna go with a 6 on this one myself.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of setup and everything, but I don't know. Still, the whole Ferengi cross dressing is still a little weird.
Okay.
And for the early days, cultural subversion, But otherwise, like I said, I still enjoyed with all the shenanigans going on, regardless. So that's where I'm sticking it.
Major Adam.
A solid 5. I mean, the humor keeps it in the minimum. Mainly because yes, we get lore, a lot of illusion things have come, but it is, with the exception of a little bit of the lore stuff and the future promises, it's kind of a come and go episode. There's no extra stuff that we're going to get out of this. Not with the exception of like one thing or two things, really. Nothing carries over to the future. Pell, farewell. So,
but even with Pell disappearing after this, not even with the Nagus, like there's nothing of what this deal transpired and stuff that carries over with the. Oh, okay, because we're getting into that stuff. Okay. I
have to be tactful.
I get it. I
Best
get it.
I can do is say why it gets a 5.
You already heard that something was dropped. A name was dropped, which is an important name. What does this name mean? We don't know. So that's an important name. You recognize that, but we don't want to say anymore because it spoils the fun.
Fucking
Quark. All right.
I know. Well, look, now it's out there. Fuck Rock.
Actually, they dropped the name in this episode, the Dominion, so we know.
Yes, they did drop the name, which you just don't know what it means. That's fine.
Right.
Hopefully it comes up again. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Actually, for me, I was always going to rate this episode a 7. And one of the reasons is I'm really trying to rate episodes on their own. Sometimes it's tough for me to do it, but I really want to try to rate them on their own. Not in the sense of the overall lore, but like what I saw last week wasn't good.
Last week.
And this, to me, it's like, this is a nice palate cleanser. It's a nice dessert after a terrible meal. And it's fun. And it's just funny. It's the same thing. It's like, look, I look at Trouble with Tribbles. It's a funny episode. You have fun with it. Same thing with, there's a couple TNG ones, which are kind of funny. Yeah, like anything with Barkley generally is a funny episode. But it's generally meant to be funny. It's not always. But this is a fun episode. And it just kind of refreshes you, and it's like, okay, it's not harmful. It drops a little bit of lore about the Ferengi, and I really like the way Armin Shimmerman comes in to like really showing, look, I know Quark, and this is my character, and I'm just going to run with it. So that for me is why I give it a 7.
That's a good thing to say. Quark is a fully formed character at this point. A lot of the other characters in the show are not. They're not fully formed yet. They're still incubating. But Quark's
probably
is
had the most
formed.
screen time, hasn't he?
Well,
more or less.
No, not so much. He's had.
It felt like
had
it's been
enough,
so many
no, what it was
episodes.
with Quark? He's had enough situations that have been the same. That his behaviors, his mannerisms, his reactions to stuff. You know what it's going to be at this point. You know how he's going to behave in these situations. He's going to be a bit of a coward. He's going to get his ego stroked that might make him brave for a second. He's going to be greedy. He's going to treat Rom like shit. So you know how Quark is going to behave. That's why I am comfortable saying he is the most fully formed character at this point. With second maybe to Dax. Dax is also fully formed at this point. What you see with Dax is what you're going to get going forward. Everybody else, there's a lot of room that they're going to expand on their characters. Lot.
Right.
And XrayGirl, that's what Adam's saying is like what really makes us attracted to the show. That you learn the characters more than anything else. So Adam and I say, like, at the end of 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine, you will know all these main characters better than you know, like, Kirk and Spock as actual characters.
Really?
Despite the long, even in the next gen, like, Picard is not going to be as fully formed of a character as Benjamin Sisko, Commander Sisko, is in this show. That's where the value for me of Star Trek Deep Space Nine is. Same thing when you've started watching a little bit of Babylon 5. That's very character driven, very story driven. It's different for Star Trek, but when you invest the time into it, it is like Adam says, you just got to dig through and then you get to that gold mine. The first couple layers are tough, but there is gold under there. And this is a great show, which is why we love it. And it's why we're watching it again. And again, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Maybe you're interested enough to go watch it. I mean, maybe you know someone who knows a little bit about Star Trek. Maybe you have someone.
I don't know if I know anyone like
that. No, you may not. It'd be a tough search. So that's our episode. XrayGirl, thank you so much for showing up. I really do appreciate this.
That was so fun.
Thank you. I mean, literally, it's like just chatted with you in Vegas about it instead of DM, and we talked about other things, which could be down the road. But you showing up is we really appreciate it. It's so cool. And I'm really glad you had fun. And hopefully it's something you get interested in, because we want people to watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which we will be doing again next week. It is an episode called Necessary Evil. It is a Cardassian Bajoran episode.
Oh,
we need Hitman here.
Yes, he'll have to be here for this.
Adam Odo, Necessary Evil, Cardassian.
I don't. I'm not going to know it till we get there.
I'm just going to say flashback.
Oh,
Tarak Nor.
Okay. Okay.
I love how he does that too. Brad will just say one particular thing, and it just clicks. In Adam's brain. I have
to go through the Rolodex of all flashback episodes, and then I think I know which one he's talking about.
Yep. Again, thank you all if you stayed around and watched us. XrayGirl, again, thank you so much. Of course, you can find all of our normal crew on places. And if you don't know where to find XrayGirl, what the hell are you doing? Don't look for me. No, she's not streaming like every other day. You can't find her like on Sundays playing games with Az and Quarter Black Garrett. You can't find her on a nooner on Wednesdays. You can't find her, BBC on Tuesdays, and there's some show on Friday nights. I don't know. Has anyone heard of that? Maybe.
No idea.
I don't know. It's some guy with a small subscriber thing had started something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Again, thank you so much for showing up, and thank everyone for watching. Until next time, questions, comments, witticisms down below. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.